And Heidi ho, everyone. Happy new month. Pinch and a punch. That's how it works. At least it did when I went to school. Hope you're having a wonderful first day of July, and for many of us, quite a relief because the financial year is over and done. Can't make any more claims, can't spend any more money. Well, I can spend money. I can spend money very well, but it won't make the slightest bit of difference in my tax return. Simple as that. Okay, welcome aboard. It's good to have you as always. It's Thursday, and that means it's not only the last day of the sessions, but it's also quiz day. So the quiz day is quite fun. It's meant to be fun, but it's also meant to be educational and keep you on your toes to make sure you know what the interest rate is in Kazakhstan or somewhere. No, you know what I mean. So hopefully that is the case today, and we actually learn something, as well as perhaps, who knows, make some money. I'm not that keen to get into the market, but I was just looking through the 4-hour charts, and gee whiz, there seems to be a little bit going on there in terms of opportunity. I'll whiz through those very, very quickly in a minute. But first, let's see if the pound US dollar is worthy of our breakout trade today. There she be on the hourly chart. As usual, yesterday was high and low. Amazing, this pair. Now it just goes up, comes down, and back to where it starts. Amazing. So we've got 75 pips. We're a little bit close to the lows. And I don't really want to go long either, because there's no room. You've got to get out there, right? And if you're going short, you've got to get out probably at, I don't know, WS1, maybe DS2. That mightn't be so bad. What did I say it was? 70 something. Let's say 80. Out at DS2 is nearly half. That's a little bit better, but it's still not terribly sexy. Yeah, no, don't like it. There's a strong level there right now. Yes, it could break, of course, but no, I'm not going to trade it. That doesn't make sense to me. All right, so let's wipe that off. I don't think we've traded that for over a week. That's probably a good thing given the price action that we've been given, apart from one day, of course, and that was here. That would have been pretty super. But with the rules, you're out at the first, so I should call it first contact point, something like that. I call it the first resistance or support. Everyone's different. I said I was going to go through the 4-hour charts, but I better update you on a couple of things. Most importantly, pound yen. Pound yen, which we traded as a key reversal on the weekly, not this week, but last week. And we traded that as a limit entry order with the then weekly pivot, the trigger point. And what happened then was we got triggered and went into substantial drawdown, I've got to say. Came back to profit yesterday. And in fact, I was only just in profit when I took half of the position off the table and put my stop loss above yesterday's candle, which has now been triggered, of course. So reason, well, I said it at the time, I wanted to be quite defensive on that, given that we'd been in a fair amount of drawdown, and I didn't want to go back to that situation. And I could see the potential for this being a higher low, which is not confirmed yet, but it's still there. And if this was indeed a higher low, I expected that we would retest the highs at some stage. So happy to be, well, yeah, look, I'm happy to be out of that position right now. I've got to say, should it come to my attention that we've got a double cross here, I would have to consider that. That is going short again, right? 116 pips. Yeah, look, it's there. It's not the worst I've ever seen. And look, that won't matter if this does produce a higher low, because we won't get triggered into the trade. I am considering it. I'm not compelled, but I am considering. I want to see what the first candle of London session does, and we're on that right now. So if we do get a bit of a false breakout here on pound yen or pound dollar, I would be considering that position. But to me, this looks now to be in a bullish scenario. It's in a buy spot for mine. So like I said, I'm happy to be out of that position that we were in, and we'll continue to look for other opportunities. Now, I won't go through the entire lot of trades that we're in. Suffice to say that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 orders in the market at the moment. The only negatives are pound Kiwi and Kiwi Swiss. Kiwi Swiss, gee whiz. I think we got a little bit, I won't say robbed. We got a bit unlucky there. I said yesterday that I would be watching with a weekly pivot and daily pivot at the time area quite closely to see if we would stay in this position or we would get out of it. In particular, I said if we got a close above the weekly pivot, then I would look to close a substantial amount of the trade, if not all of it, even in small loss. Well, it didn't get that opportunity because we closed yesterday below the weekly pivot, and that looked like a good bar to me. But big gap in the market this morning for whatever reason. I've got no idea why. And we've been left in the unenviable situation of not knowing now whether this will close above the weekly pivot or otherwise. So, yeah, look, I'll still be watching it. Monthly pivots come down, of course. That's providing us with a bit of resistance. But like I said yesterday, this does now look like a left shoulder, right shoulder scenario. Today will be the testing material. If we can erase that or make that shoulder a little bit lower, then happy days. But if not, then we may be in a position where we need to manage this so we don't actually cop a loss or a full loss on it. Disappointing because we missed TP1, and that's the whole reason why I have this rule that says if I miss TP1 by a pip or a couple of pips whilst I'm sleeping or otherwise, then I just move my stops to entry, and that would have been the case yesterday had it not been for the pivots being very close together. And I've now potentially paid the price for not sticking to my rule. We'll see. G'day, John. How you doing, mate? Nothing to do here just now, but if this does take off, we might be in a little bit of strife on that one. And the only other one that is in drawdown at the moment is pound Kiwi on the monthly chart, just barely in drawdown, looking for that to get a move on, actually. I don't think a lot will depend on NFE, which it now is, used to be NFP, of course, with this pair, but you just never know. I do like the market structure, and as you guys are probably aware, I've been hunting this long for the longest time, and we've been in it a few times, made a little bit of money, but nowhere near what I was looking for. I'm still looking for this to get up here somewhere. Now, the two other trades that we are in are going to be, or their fate is going to be determined by, or two of the other trades that we're in, their fate is going to be determined by what happens tomorrow with NFP, if indeed we are still in Aussie dollar and pound US dollar, of course. Now, if we do shoot through here today and maybe come down towards these lows on pound US dollar, then I would look to either A, trail my stops and get it pretty tight, or take some money off the table. I think I'd trail my stops anyway to get above this level that we're currently trying to break, or just above this level that we're currently trying to break. But the potential to get a really nice ride here on the back of NFE is substantial, and it would be really nice if we can actually get some more in the bank today, tighten up those stops, and if it does go with us, enjoy the ride. If it doesn't, then we're not going to lose too much of what we've already got in the bank. So not much to do there right now, but if today is kind to us, then we will look very much to manage that. I'll look to manage it tomorrow. We shall see. I will update that in the Telegram group tomorrow, both of those positions, and probably all the positions that we're in. 4 in profit, 4 safe, 4 going well, and the other 2 just struggling a little bit. We shall see. Okay, so to today, there were 2, 4, 5 key reversal bars. Let's have a quick look at them. They were these: Aussie yen. Aussie yen on the daily chart, looking at that chart, hang on a minute, that's not a key reversal, but that certainly is issue, pardon me. The issue, of course, is that we're trading straight into the weekly pivot, and the monthly pivot's now joined it. So not a great reward to risk there available to us. And I still don't know, frankly, which direction this is going to head. We are at a strong support level, but we've broken it, come back above it. That would suggest if price gets down to here that we're going short, but it's very, very difficult to go long at the moment. Maybe a break and retest of those, yes, but no, it's a no for me right now on that. CAD yen, all these charts look the same, of course, and I've got a clear double cross on the weekly pivot there. That's tempting, I've got to say, and the monthly pivot now coming down supplies us with a little bit of extra protection to the high side if we wanted to go short. Look, it's kind of there. We've had head and shoulders, neckline break, neckline retest, now a lower low, or is it lower low on what? Smaller time frame. Haven't got a lower high yet either. So we're kind of in no man's land, but I do see the potential for a double cross here, and I've seen it on a few pairs, in particular the yen pairs. So yes, it's a key reversal bar. I think it's probably one of the better ones because you do have a little bit of room above the pivots if it does take off to get to that high. But I'm a little bit dubious on it, to be fair. I just don't know what direction this is going to go. If I was going to trade that, yeah, I'd be taking profit around about the DR2 mark, but I've chosen not to. I'm not sure exactly why. Oh, yes, I do, because of the double cross on the weekly pivot. That's why. Swissy yen was another. There's only 3 left. I'll quickly go through those. Swissy yen, again, a key reversal bar, but look where the weekly pivot is. You'd be trading bang straight into it, and price is there right now. Let's see how that develops. Maybe a break and retest does get us interested with the long. Had a key reversal bar down here, a retrace, then another key reversal bar. It does look interesting, I've got to say, and it would appear that the yen has weakened a little bit on the strength that it was showing, obviously, earlier in the week and late last week. We shall see. I really got interest in trading that at the weekly pivot, that's for sure. Euro Kiwi was another, and that exactly the same thing upside down, trading straight into the weekly pivot. It's already done that. Monthly pivot's there as well, so it's a strong support level, and the daily pivot's not too far away either. So I don't expect this is going too far anytime soon, and I would expect that we're not going to get any reward out of that, even if we did go short into the pivots, which I would not do. Dollar yen is the last of them, and just like it does, it proves very, very difficult to trade, because right at the highs here, you'd have to enter there, and now, of course, the market is testing that level. I would love to see a false break here on this. So come back under here, under the daily pivot even, although the pivots are very close together. I would look for that to go short, but If it goes long, it goes long. So that's another reason why I'm not trading it. And all the key reversal bars today, to my mind, are untradeable, perhaps with the exception of CAD yen. As I said, I've seen some 4-hour charts that look really interesting, but let's bring Ash in without his hair and and say good day. How are you, mate?
Oh, really good, mate. Yeah, really good.
Nice background.
Yeah, you can hear me all right, can you?
No?
Oh,
Of course
no
I can.
problem. Yeah, there was a trade in the FTSE, but it was so fast, I didn't have time to report it. Actually, you might get it. You might get it. Hold on, let me just see if we can get this, get you guys into this as well.
G'day, Lewis.
It is for a long, and I'm just going to see if I can get you guys in. So let me just bring the chart over here. And I'm going to do this. Oh, God. So these charts are all messed up. There we go. Yeah, and apologies for not being able to get you guys in, but it was so fast. I mean, it was, I guess, trying to learn from yesterday about the slight procrastination. Oh God, I can't control these charts at all.
Oh, it's okay. As you were. I just lost my screen, that's all.
All right, there we go. That's better, I think. Right, and I will talk you through it just in case it comes back, and we can all get into this. So here we are. I might be telling you. It might be okay. Might be okay. So the price to get in at is at 70.58. But I've got to take profit at 92, which is pretty, we're pretty close to being there already. So I'm not sure whether there'll be an opportunity. But if it doesn't get to that point, which it might not, because of this resistance point here, it may well come back and give another opportunity. It appears to have opened up pretty keen, so it's just a question of whether it can. Now, of course, coming out of first contact really does mean coming out probably at this level, but I think that there's just a slightly better contact up here, and I don't see really signs and signals at this stage of reversal, but it could reverse, because yesterday what we did see was a really big surge to the upside, and then it turned around again, and that's as I say, that could happen. So I will keep watching for you guys and see if there's an opportunity. Currently at 83, price is at 58, so it's got some work to do to pull back. But given yesterday, I think it could happen. Now, one of the reasons that I'm comfortable with this long, because looking at the markets yesterday, it really did look like we were potentially going to collapse. But one of the reasons that I'm okay with looking for the long is because of the data releases later, and those data releases later might give us an opportunity to stay with this sentiment, and the sentiment is still bullish. We don't seem to be breaking down. Negative looking bars on the FTSE when you look at the close of the month, but that may just fluctuate for a few weeks before potentially breaking down. I had a really good look at the yen yesterday as well, mate. And oh, by the way, do you like the new background? I've got.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, you did? Oh, sorry, Angel.
Yeah.
Angel just knocked this up in about 5 minutes. Quite amazing.
Yeah, she just offered it to
hours,
me, but
and I couldn't do it.
But I can't use the blasted thing.
You're going to want this one, mate. Do you know? I mean, if you like this background, we'll stick with it. But because I was thinking, we want an area that looks like a couple of friends in a play. I wasn't sure if we wanted a bar or something. I'm not sure, but it might look a bit busy. But I like this. I think she's done a good job here.
Yeah, absolutely. Good job,
nice
Angel.
colours.
I didn't realise Angel did it.
Yeah. Oh, she's got many talents, mate. So where were we? So yeah, so let's have a look and just check out, you know, what some of these charts are doing. I am struggling a little bit with my new setup. It's not conducive really for trade. I'm going to have to change it.
And I didn't hear what Lagarde said. Lewis, no, mate.
No, I didn't either. But I'd like to go and find that out, because really, Lagarde saying whatever right now might help my ideas out, because what I'm wondering is whether we've got a situation where we could actually be looking at weak euro, strong yen. That's what I'm kind of looking at, mate, at this stage. Sorry, yeah, weak euro, strong yen. So
I hope
euro,
you're right, because I'm already in that.
brilliant. Yeah, I mean, euro yen short is probably I'd say it's probably my favoured currency pair. So I'm just going to have a quick look at this. Just to see if we can start chat. Now, the thing is that out? Yeah, yeah. My profit's been taken. I'm really sorry. I just couldn't get on. I couldn't concentrate on this and trying to get on the show fast enough to give everybody this trade. But we will get another one. They come up. You know, sometimes the market just kind of gives us the signal at quarter past, and that way I can do it. But when it literally opened up, and there was a choice that had to be made, so I couldn't do both. It was all a little bit too hectic. So I apologise for not being able to kind of get everybody on board with this, but there will be opportunities, of course, and I'll make sure we have those. So let's have a look at why I think that there could be some weakness coming, and it's really on this monthly chart. So this is at this stage purely technical, which means that we are in a situation where we don't really know whether we are going to fail here, but because of the technical aspects, or whether we just, you know, whether we can continue to get up to this trend line. And it will be down to the catalyst, and we don't really know at this stage what the catalyst is. There's definitely a feeling of markets being overinflated and overbought. There's also a feeling that the dollar could strengthen, I think potentially significantly, which could temper the market. But what we were discussing on Sunday, what I was discussing with Julian on Sunday, is about the timing. So NASDAQ, very, very difficult to see where that's going to roll over. Same with the S&P, because they are at all-time highs. With the FTSE, I think is a bit easier, and it's kind of here or the trend line. At this stage, we have to aim higher. We have to be looking at that trend line. But because of the way that I'm currently approaching the market, where it's just on a day-by-day basis and at first contact, it doesn't really matter which way it's going to turn throughout the rest of the day. And if we get signs and signals later in the day, then tomorrow morning or Monday morning with the rest of the guys in the show, then we can start looking to flip direction. But at this stage, mate, we're looking at the long, and I don't see anything which would temper that. We've hit the end of the quarter, we've hit the end of the month, and markets are still pretty buoyant. To a surprising degree, I would say. Crypto markets, interesting as well. I don't know if you've been watching those particular charts, but the crypto markets are also really interesting because Bitcoin is currently weakening, and obviously managed to close the month in not too negative territory. And I still think there might be a big dive down with the cryptos before they start to recover. And the reason I mention those in the same kind of breath as the FTSE and the NASDAQ and the S&P is that risk on, risk off mentality that the cryptos appear to have correlation with. They appear to have a correlation with the risk on, and they are weakening. So I don't know whether that might be a bit of a sign that there's a little bit of imbalance out there, but it's certainly a little bit worrying. Now, the other thing is that we've got the OPEC meetings today. And again, this relates back to the market because the OPEC meeting, there's a suggestion that the likes of I think Kazakhstan want to open up the floodgates. They want to kind of increase the supply in the market. Now, obviously, the first thing that would suggest is that we see some weakness in the oil market. But I think there are enough commentators out there saying that that's actually priced in, so we may not see the weakness. But that 77 is starting to look a bit more likely to me, mate, because if OPEC are now on a cycle of kind of loosening policy, if you like, and increasing the supply, then at some point that balance will flip back in favor of supply over demand. At this stage, there's still lots and lots of demand, and certainly as economies grow, we see lots and lots of demand. One thing that could flip it, of course, is COVID. But if we just think about just general economics and how we get this kind of push me pull you kind of effect with markets, that just from policy, then policy might well at some point turn this market over. So I wonder whether that 77, as I say, could be the area to aim for. If the OPEC news and meeting does not turn the market over, if it's nothing extreme and it doesn't turn the market over, what we are seeing is a signaling that the OPEC are changing stance. So where they went off of choking supply to try and get rid of some of those back orders, I think those back orders are now starting to kind of not back orders, sorry, the inventories that were the backlog of inventories. I think those backlogs are now starting to depreciate somewhat. So now supply can start coming back on. We might still be a couple of months away from that, but I think there might be maybe something for us to grab onto there. And
interesting.
And I'll tell you one thing about that, because if we link that now back to currencies, does that also give us a little bit of a green light to start looking at a CAD short, which we've been contemplating for some time? So is that the catalyst we need to kind of get us into that CAD short? And it could be. Watching out for that one, mate. I think it could be an interesting meeting later on, and really an interesting period now for oil, maybe going right up until the end of the year. And if we're looking for opportunities, if we're looking for volatility, then inevitably what goes up eventually does come down, as we saw with Bitcoin. So with oil being the one that's just jettisoned so high in comparison to many other opportunities and many other products, oil could start looking really interesting for some trading opportunities. I'm not sure whether that would fit your style necessarily, or your stomach, but it could be something we should look at.
Well, no, I'm certainly not against it. Like yesterday, I saw a chart that interested me, right? It was gold.
Yeah.
And, I just don't, I think I've traded gold once on somebody's trade call, and that lost. So I just don't understand what drives it really at the end of the day. From a macro point of view, I do, but in terms of, short term, medium term, no, I got no idea. Yeah. And I withstood the opportunity, the temptation of actually placing a long above not yesterday's bar, but Tuesday's bar. And I noticed right now it's bang on that level.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what Ainsley was talking about, it makes perfect sense, because she sits up and waits for NFP to trade it.
Yeah.
Not so much trade.
That was very interesting, mate.
Yeah, not so much trade the announcement, but to trade the response. And that could therefore go either way, in my humble opinion. So I've just managed to temper my temptation to trade.
Interesting looking bar though, mate. This, I know it's Thursday, so we've still got a day left, but that looks like an interesting looking weekly bar. And I think because of where it is on this inverted head and shoulders, I think it looks even more interesting. When we talk about context, this bar's got a lot of context, and Lewis might have an opinion on this, because I know he does trade a bit of gold, and he's pretty good at it from what I gather. But it looks to me like this is a potential area right here, and it's my favored look of an inverted head and shoulders, because it's also through that trend line. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you think, Lewis, on that, but yeah, I know we were talking about the sentiment cycle, and that still may play out. But certainly the way that this is looking right now, we've got this inverted head and shoulders along here, and we are right on top of a right shoulder and a trend line. And to see a reversal bar on the weekly would suggest to me that we're going at least back to the possibly right to the top of the neckline up here. Which is a pretty good bounce. I mean, we're talking about $100 bounce in gold at this particular point. And difficulty with gold is the dollar. And I was going to, almost come back to that with oil as well. The way that oil is potentially looking with that possible choke of supply, that with a increase in the dollar as well may well give us even more reason to start shorting oil. Or if we want to trade it in a different way, we short the Noki or the CAD is another possibility. I'm not sure whether we got the Noki on this actually. Gold last week's bar is nice inside bar. Maybe could play an OCO. Interesting. You're a bit of an OCO man, Jeff. What do you think about
that? Weekly chart. You've got the weekly chart up there, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got the weekly chart. I'm just going to delete these inverted head and shoulders levels. So Swee's saying that a possible OCO, I mean, that's a really interesting way to play it. I hadn't really thought of that because I would, the way I'm looking at it, Swee, I've got to be honest, the way I look at this is that the upside looks a lot stronger for me and the downside looks a bit dangerous. But what do you think, mate?
I don't like that bar on the weekly at all, to be honest. If it were a key reversal bar that preceded it, then I would be interested. But it's not. Yeah. You've had 3 days of selling there, which is good. Then a little bit of retracement, which is the inside bar. So I do understand. I get it, but it doesn't really fit my criteria. If you could turn that into a false break, and I'm not sure if you can. Let me have a look at my chart. My chart is still short of I've got my line kind of up underneath the low test bar, which is the swing high.
Okay,
my trend line's right up there. No, up on the swing high.
Up here.
Yep. It's underneath there.
Is it right on this?
No,
this...
Keep going.
Oh, right. Okay.
Go through the base of the big bull bar. Yeah, there. Hasn't quite retested that, but that's where my trend line is now. The problem with that is that needs to be retested for me.
To think about why your trend lines there, mate?
On a weekly chart, obviously we've got different brokers. I'm on Fusion. Are you on Fusion? You're on Fusion.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Can you go a bit wider?
Sure.
Because I'm using the highs. That's why.
So you're using this high here.
Yep.
I see. Yeah, I got it, mate. Yeah, I do see that. I gotcha. Yeah, there is a level there, isn't there?
So for me, that needs to be retested before I'd go short.
So I'm using the close prices here, and you're using the highs, which is really interesting, isn't it? Because it's two different ways to draw trend lines, which are both relevant.
Yes, and I think it's pertinent that they're actually locking price in there as well.
Yeah, it is pertinent. And if you change this to a line chart, you can see why this trend line is valid.
Sure.
And then if you flip back to the candles, you can see why this trend line is valid. Really interesting, isn't it? That you've got two trend lines which are both valid actually, but and you're absolutely right. And what's interesting about this is that I think that increases the probability that we go up. And
I
the
agree.
reason for that is that that you've got this area as potential resistance to then come down from, rather than going up to the neckline. So what that's provided actually is a better target, in my opinion. So rather than looking at 100 up, we're probably looking at more like 50 to the upside from here. Now, if we do a measurement on, it's only a 1-to-1. $50, that is. It's only a 1-to-1,
But then
which
if NFP drives it, it could go a lot higher. So
it could go a lot higher, yeah, which is starting to really kind of move into that. However, if the NFP does drive it, then we've got something significant. We've got a genuine catalyst there. And if we get that genuine catalyst, that would suggest we can then hop down to some shorter term timeframes and say, okay, we can actually take this because we got a decent catalyst to take this up to the that trend line there, and an opportunity on a 4-hour or an hourly that might create a 1.5, 2, or 3-to-1 would be, I think, would be okay. Particularly if you get a decent weekly bar. I mean, if you get into that today, NFP's tomorrow though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
So
about what, 30 hours away.
Yeah. Interesting, mate. I mean, that would suggest that gold's probably going pretty much nowhere for the next 24 hours. And that would also suggest the dollar's probably going nowhere. And Lewis saying that the euro's taking a bit of a jump. I haven't looked at the euro, but obviously Lagarde said something that people like, and that might have been about easing or tightening. Probably did she mention a bit of tightening? I don't see the euro popping up on against the Aussie. I don't see it up against the Swissy. I don't see it up against the CAD. Don't see it up against the pound. See it up against
had
the
a little
yen.
bit of a spurt on the open, no, just before the open, actually.
Maybe against the dollar, is it? Maybe Lewis is talking about against the dollar. No, I don't see it up against the dollar either.
Yeah, against the dollar, it rallied about 18, 20 pips.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that was the dollar, not the euro, because Aussie did the same.
Yeah.
Pound didn't same. Oh, yeah, it did. So dollar story.
Dollar story rather than euro story. Yeah, that does look like the case, doesn't it? Yeah, so that's where we're at anyway, mate. I don't know if you want to do a quick roundup, but we are at quiz time.
Yeah, look, the only thing I'm really interested in are a couple on the 4-hour charts, and I'll have a quick squiz at those. I'm not terribly excited, but it's possible that they might set up. In fact, now that's all changed to Billio. We were getting a nice little a white-bodied candle here that was going to be a rejection bar, but that's turned black. I may have to wait a little bit further on this one and wait for the genuine lower high. This is going to be a lower high based on this one, by the look of it, in another hour and a half. And that's what I was counting on, but I was counting on it being a white-bodied candle, not a black-bodied and decisive candle. It may well be at this point. But full alert, Euro Aussie, it's a classic ranging pair. And this may well be our opportunity to get back into the short to close that rectangle once again. We shall see. I thought a few of the euro pairs actually were promising. They're all getting away from me. I wanted this to be a double cross of the weekly pivot on euro pound. We mentioned yesterday this bar, and I was waiting for a lower high to trade it. Waited too long, obviously, and that's now gone. Nice little close below the weekly pivot. It is at a bit of a support level, but I think a close above the weekly and maybe on the rest of the pivots would be good. You could trade underneath that short, but it doesn't look promising for a potential entry, although I'm on the daily chart. That's 13 and a half hours to go. I'm wondering how low. That can't be right. Even that one there is interesting, but we still haven't tested the daily pivot, sadly. That's the 4-hour chart now. Yeah, it's tough. I do like that candle, but I don't like that we haven't tested the daily pivot yet. So I don't really want to trade at support to achieve that. It is the low of the day and a new low that makes a difference. Say 18 pips. Yeah, it's not that appealing, really, is it? I don't mind the scenario, but no, I'm going to leave that one alone as well. Was there another Euro CAD? No, too leggy now. Euro Aussie we've discussed. Euro Swissy, Euro Yen. No, he's gone. We're too late. Double cross on the weekly pivot. Trades in the monthly. There it was. I should have been doing that rather than talking, shouldn't I?
Oh, mate,
Okay,
was that along, was it?
Yep.
Yeah, I still really like the Euro Yen for sure, but it is probably more around that weekly pivot area.
Look, I don't see it moving too far, Ash, to be honest. The pivots are pretty closed in.
Yeah.
The trade's already gone. That was a short-term thing.
Yeah.
So no, I'm okay.
Okay.
Happy to keep the gun in the holster.
Okay, mate. Well, is John in the room? I don't know if John's here, actually. I haven't even looked. Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. Yep.
I see him there. How you doing, John?
All good.
Oh, we can hear him as well. First time. Awesome.
Straight away.
It's all good. I'm not gonna.
Well, let's get to the quiz, mate, and then we'll have a little bit of a chat about the markets after.
Right. This will stop other screen sharing. Okay. So yeah, I can switch the screen. Yeah.
You certainly can.
Right. Yeah. Do that one. Share.
You need a Trading Buddies background. Can you change your background or not?
Yeah. Yeah. I can.
Oh, yeah.
The Mac computer I have allows me to put that green screen thing in without actually having to have a green screen.
Yeah, that's what I've got. I've got the same thing.
Yeah,
I'd use the Mac, only I can't get my head around trading on the Mac. It just confuses.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, mate. It's a really different experience, isn't it? It doesn't seem like it would be, but it is.
Okay. Before we start the gig, I have a little story for you. When I went and did my Actions to Wealth, the first, when you go to the hotel and everybody's in there, it's all good to go. I had no end of hassle getting it to work on a Mac.
Yeah.
And in the end, and because I used to teach IT, I feel like an idiot. I came back and my wife said, why don't you run that Parallels thing that you did before? So
yeah.
Oh yeah, right, thanks. So I run it on Parallels.
Right.
Yeah, so did I. I tried it, didn't like it.
Yeah, didn't it not work?
No, kinda.
Yeah, it works okay for me.
Oh, I don't know. Angel's asking how she can send you the background, John. Is that how do we do that?
I will email's the easiest thing.
Okay. Have you got John's email, Angel? You might not do. Actually, you know what, mate? If make it easier on Angel, if you could PM her, but just give her a private message on here for your email, and she'll send it over to you.
I'll do that there. All right.
And then you'll be ready for next week.
Very the rock then. Nothing dangerous this week, but if you did some homework, you'll be okay.
That rules me out.
Right, come on then, let's get down to it.
An easy one to start with. So, she's currently the head honcho, sorting out the Euro. I'll hide my debt in a cupboard in New York zone, but she had a previous job, which
I'm not sure what her title was there. I'll just put
no. I had to be fair. I did have to squeeze a look.
I'm going to put president.
Oh gosh, I've just private messaged Angel, and I put exactly that.
You put
She's
president,
did you? Yeah, I put the head of the IMF, the president. Yeah. Oh no.
The chair, managing director. But
there you go.
That was the job.
Oh, so she wasn't the president.
No, they call it something slightly different. She's the president of the Central Bank of Europe, if you could call it a bank. But she was the chair and managing director.
The chairman. Okay, the IML. I'm going to put the president because that's what I put down. There you go. So Swee got it right. Okay, Swee's one up.
Okay, I have a crypto question. Which cryptocurrency is currently feeling the heat, or is feeling the heat in the UK?
Currency or company?
Yeah. So which crypto company?
Oh, company.
I'll call it a company because on further reading, it is only part of the company that's under the spotlight. It's not the whole company, which sort of it backs up what the crypto king himself said, Shukri. Yeah, finance. It is.
I'm on the board twice. I know. What question was that too? I'm on the board.
You're on the board.
You're on the board, mate.
Mm.
So is Swee. Swee's still up on us, mate.
Okay. Question. Now we started to get into currency pair nicknames. Now some of them are known, some of them are a bit obscure. But the cable was first. Okay, so what is the nickname for the Euro Swiss franc? Now it can be used sort of for another one as well.
I have no idea.
Oh gosh. Okay. Euros. What could that be?
Now, to be fair, I have heard Jeff use it, but it's also used in conjunction with another currency pair as well.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit of a tricky one. Jeff Waterfall, Toblerone and chocolate. I must be a bit of a geek. I found this
the biggest waterfall I've ever seen, mate.
The Swissy or Euro Swissy.
Oh, Euro
okay.
Swissy.
But I've heard people say that the dollar Swissy.
Okay.
Yeah, I call it Euro Swissy all the time. Yes.
I mean, not to kind of pick holes in your. Could you call that a nickname? I'm not sure. I
don't know. No, I don't know what would you call them.
I mean, cable kind of makes sense because it doesn't reference either name of the product.
Yeah, Looney's the same.
Really complicated.
Looney's the same. Yeah.
I left it. There was a complicated one. I left it out. Fiber.
Which one?
Fiber.
Fiber.
Fiber. I thought I'm going to leave that one out. That's just too left.
What for this?
No, it's as a currency pair's supposed nickname.
Oh, well, that's a good one. That's a good question.
Cable, yeah, this is like a live one. In answer to cable,
yeah,
because obviously the pound and the dollar were the king. There's the other currency pair wanted to have their own nickname. The one that replaced them. So the currency pair is Fiber.
Fiber. Euro dollar.
Yes.
Euro dollar. Okay.
I think that we could definitely take you down to the dog track in Brighton.
I used to love going to the dogs. I can't see the ethical.
I've got so much money in that down there.
Yeah, but you can't go now, mate. It's really, when you find out the practices that they put the dogs through. I genuinely loved it, but I can't set foot in another dog track now because they're just really cruel. Anyway, what is the nickname for the Aussie dollar? The Aussie.
It's an easy one. And the last one of our little thing, the nickname. Now this one is a good one.
This one is a good one.
Because you can do a bit of research on. Yes.
Oh, who's got the right spelling?
Oh, I don't know,
mate. GF has got the right.
I think you have, mate. Yeah, I just saw your spelling. I thought actually, I think you might get the points for the right spelling because everybody seems to know that one.
Does anybody know what a loon is? I haven't got a clue.
It's a bird.
Yeah, well, you're on it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't got a clue. Not a clue.
Yeah.
So I had to get a bit of info.
Oh, I didn't know it looked like that though.
No.
I didn't know it was a duck.
That looks like a false duck.
It does, yeah.
Which party is celebrating its 100th anniversary this week?
Oh.
I know Mikey's 50.
And he's having a party.
I
don't know.
Who's got it? Sweet's got it. Well,
Well done, Sweet.
I
Well
expected
done.
Sweet to get it.
Well done, Sweet. I was about to put the Tories. Well done. That's really yeah, okay. On the ball with that one.
The Communist Party of China they've been in power for 100 of them.
Wow.
The Euros are all the talk at the moment. But anyway, which sport brings in the most cash?
Ooh.
Which sport
Brings in.
Revenue? It's revenue, as in how much revenue the actual sport gets its hands on.
Wow. Okay.
I was surprised, and then I wasn't surprised because I've been, not subjected to it, but so far there is a correct answer.
There is a correct answer. So it's one of those, Jeff. What are you plumping for?
There is a correct answer there.
Yeah, okay. I think you got it, Paul P. I was going to say golf or ice hockey, but
ice hockey.
You're only talking about Canada, aren't you?
Yeah.
Actually, you'd be surprised. Ice hockey is pretty big. Russia.
The National Football League.
There you go.
Bang, 13 billion. I went to the States University just outside New York for 6 months, and
there must be a mistake there, mate. There's no ice hockey.
There's just massive.
Yeah, there is the NHL.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
number 6. Yeah, okay.
Number 6. Do you know what? That really does surprise me. So basically, it's all the American sports are
Australian rules football. That blows me away.
Serie A football.
But,
that's interesting. Okay, so when you say which of sporting leagues, which of them? Okay, yeah.
With the Aussie rules football, there's a team in KL.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a club. They must, obviously not at the minute, but when they would do it in full swing, they'd be out twice a week and training on Sunday.
So Ligue 1 brings in more revenue than La Liga.
It's mad, isn't it? Well, anyway, according to Market Watch, so there's my little disclaimer.
Yes, aerial ping pong, Gary. That's right.
A couple of questions here. Okay, President Bill Clinton and Alan Greenspan, apart from making sure that the US at one point did not have a stupid deficit, both play or did play the same musical instrument.
And the reason I'm going for that is that I reckon that's how he wooed Monica Lewinsky.
she blows the trumpet. Yeah.
I said that when I put this question together, I said, there's no way that this will just go under the radar without just a little quipper.
Paul P, I love it. Good answer.
I think Paul P's right, actually. No, he's going to put that down.
Right. Well,
it deserves 10 points. That answer, I like it.
They both.
Look at that.
Saxophone. But to be fair, Greenspan also played the clarinet.
I knew that.
I reckon I might be in the lead here. You know.
Fun fact: Bill Clinton had a couple of lessons with the biggest grossing instrumental artist, recording artist. The one is an instrumental player. Who's got all the kachinga.
Louis Armstrong?
No, Kenny G.
Oh, who?
Kenny G. Yeah.
Kenny G. Okay.
Yeah.
Plays elevator music.
He does. He plays it
where the money is. That's where the money is.
There's no money in a live gig. Last question. Last question is a live one. All you've got
Oh
to
yeah.
do is you've got to name the national anthem that I'm going to play. It is one of the major currency pairs that we win our money on, and the instrument that I'm playing it on. And there is a hint, you have talked about shorting this particular currency on the show today.
Oh, I think I've just got it wrong then.
Very good, mate.
I tell you what, that was
Jeff,
it was beautifully played.
Jeff, we've got to take Jeff to the races, and we've got to take him to the casino.
Happy.
Oh.
No, I'll get the free drinks. You can roll the dice.
I think you caught me up there, Jeff. I tell you what, just for a what's it called? Not a golden goal. What is it when you have the
Tiebreaker?
The tiebreaker?
Yes.
Okay, the tiebreaker. Now I don't know the answer to this, so you'll have to Google it, John. Closest to Christine Lagarde's age wins.
Closest to Christine Lagarde's age. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to go with.
And I promise you, I don't know the answer.
Oh, we did the same.
Okay, sweet Paul. What are we going for? Lewis. Paul's going 79.
Holy dooly.
I've got 69. Lewis is 65. We're a bit quite kind of close here, yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I was going to say, sweet, I'd go under if I were you.
Okay, what we go? What's the answer, John?
According to a Google search, it's 65.
Oh!
Lewis is the winner.
Lewis takes it at the end, at the death. Fantastic, mate. Brilliant. Nice, good quiz, that. Really good. So just a quick chat on trading, mate. Now, I noticed a couple of days ago you were asking questions about the FTSE, and I don't feel like I gave you much clarity. So was there anything that you wanted to get more clarity on?
No. All it is, it's very. I've not followed it as much as as everybody else. I only started doing it over the last 6 weeks. But I put that analysis in.
Yeah.
Of that line, and now I just sort of watch it go in either side of it. It's like,
oh, I see. Yeah.
It's not gone that far away.
Yeah.
And then I now look at it at the start of 2 o'clock at my time.
Yeah.
To see what it might do, but I'm always very nervous of taking a trade on it.
Yeah. Well,
I just look at it and I'm thinking, okay, I can.
You know what? It's one of those. Nice one, Paul. It's one of those that that because I've been trading it for such a long time, I do feel very comfortable. But I know what you mean, because I don't think I'd feel quite as comfortable then switching to, like, let's say the Kakaron or the Nikkei and trading it in quite the same way. Yes, I'd take a longer term position on those things with a longer term view, but trying to sort of like make a decision on the FTSE on the short term is probably only something that I would do because I feel quite connected to it. And one of the reasons is because I live here, I live in the country.
Because I looked at it today on a 30-minute chart, and it looked really, really, the range was really tight coming in.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, this is going to go long. But I thought, no, don't, because
Oh, well done, mate. Okay, so
But
you had the long down.
yeah, but I didn't put it in because of what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday it went up and then just shot down as I thought, okay.
Yes. Okay, so maybe what we'll do is then have a little test with yourself over the course of the next week or two, and pick a direction, pick a price point you want to get in at before. And when I sort of put my price points in and direction on, you see whether we're on the same page or not. Not to say that I'm right and you'll be wrong, but you know, we'll just see whether you're sort of reading it the same way as I am.
Yeah, that it's just something I've never done.
It's a lovely thing to trade on a short term, you know, to make some money early, because literally, as soon as you make your money in the FTSE between 8 and 9, or even 9 and 10, or whatever it is, you're done. You know, your day is done. I can go and do whatever I want now for the rest of the day because my the money's made. So it's a good thing to trade if you can get into it, but it's not for everyone, of course.
No, it's just it was different. And then when you're talking about oil, when I first started last year, was it when it all started? I watched oil drop all the way down. And I was just, then I was just thinking, yeah, I should have just waited until it came back online, stuck my buy price in at the bottom. Would I have still been in it? That would be my question.
Yeah, you know, if you could have psychologically stuck with it, you mean?
Because I was new, I was just following it down. Because I was not sure. Obviously, it was interesting times. I was just watch oil. I even got my wife in. So I said, come and see this. Watch the price of oil fall, and the computer just complete stop when it got down to 790, I think, on Fusion.
Are you finding more clarity, John? Generally, you know, sort of like, you know, do you feel like you progress every month?
Yes, but not. I don't know whether it's the right way. I'm not as angry when I make mistakes.
Good, yeah, that is progression.
And I can see that if I stick at this and try not to do too many stupid things, that it will work eventually.
Yes, it will. Yeah, I was having the same conversation with Paul actually yesterday about sticking in there, about staying with it.
I don't know what everybody else feels. The reason that I like the show in the afternoon is, for me, it's like an anchor point. And then I can see that things don't always go not the right way, but everybody takes a hit. And I'm thinking, oh, well, if everybody else is taking a bit of a hit, you know, grow up and just
just get over it.
There's no 100%ers, mate. There's very few 90%ers. And it depends on your style whether that's going to suit you anyway. You know, if you're aiming for 80% winners, you're going to have a lot of little winners. You're not going to have too many big ones.
Yeah.
So that's got to suit you, and the reverse occurs, right? If you're having 50%, you need to have a few big winners. If you're having 40%, you need to have, 2 out of 3 need to be winners. 1 out of 3 need to be winners, but they need to be big.
Yeah.
So it's a balancing act, and what do they do? What's his name? Gordon in his animals.
Yes.
That's the profiling, right?
Yes, which I think is so insightful. I really like that. But and these are the things, as I say, I was talking to Paul about this yesterday, and he was sort of saying, because I've kind of got to the point where I've really crossed the line where I don't really need to work anymore. And he was saying, what is it, that kind of gets you to that point? And I did say that it's just sticking in there, really. You just got to stick in there, get through the first few years where things aren't so good, and then you can, and then you things do just become more comfortable. I mean, Jeff's so confident with his strategy that he can walk away losing. I feel confident with my strategy. Means that I can walk away losing, because tomorrow there'll be another opportunity, and you might lose then as well. But eventually, it's going to come good. So
I've got to say, I don't like to go into Friday losing.
I don't.
That's never fun.
No.
Or the end of the month, if I had a losing month, I don't like that.
No,
but
that's
it is what it is.
I was just trying to, because I was being quiet at the beginning of that. I sleep a little better now.
That's a massive thing. That's actually, that is almost sort of a bump in the, sorry, not a bump, sorry, a marking in the road. When you sleep better, when you're trading, you start to sleep better. Something has changed significantly, and it probably means you're not over risking anymore. It probably means that you've now got control of the money side of it, which is the one of the biggest things. And I know what you mean with that. It's a really insightful way to say it in some respects, that you sleep better, and you're not thinking about trading all the time.
It's not, it's not completely right yet, but it's better.
Lewis just said something really interesting. He put a long on XTI from the low at $21 on a demo account, and then the swaps were killing the profit.
Oh.
So holding on actually wouldn't have made you any money by the sounds of it. That's the problem, isn't it?
Sometimes swaps can be horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, this is where we always say that the broker somehow manages to make you broker even when you're a winner. They just don't lose, do they?
Oh, so even if I had put it, I'll just put my price in at the bottom and kept it. It wouldn't. I might have been in. I
don't know. I mean, Lewis is just saying that the swaps would have were killing the profit. Whether you probably would have made money, but it would have been maybe less. The magnitude wouldn't have been quite as big as it may seem because of the swaps.
Have you ever done that, Ash? And I know you don't really trade through sessions, but just before close the trade and open it again the next day.
Oh no, that's a good idea.
Have you ever done that?
No.
It's a way to get around it. Sometimes you get caught with gaps, but more often than not, you're going to save yourself some dough if the swaps are really bad.
That's a really good idea, mate. I hadn't even thought of that. So if you get negative swaps, you close the trade at the end of the day, literally the last second, and then just open it up on the.
Don't wait till the last second because the spreads will kick you.
Okay, so wait the last hour or something.
Yeah, last half hour, and then don't open them again until I've seen a few of these brokers. Their spreads are way out. An hour later.
Then I suppose you could just put an order in, couldn't you? As soon as the market opens up again, you put your order in, and then you can go to bed.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That's really cool. I like that. I closed that trade making 2,000, but the swap was 9,900. So yeah. So it did sound like the swaps did actually batter the profit down 50% nearly.
Well, you start to get a little bit nervous at that level as well. If it goes against you, you've got a pretty bad situation.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's something to think about, Lewis, if you get into another one of those.
Yeah. Well worth practicing by the sounds of it. Okay, mate. Well, I think we're pretty much done, unless
Yep.
John, but Lewis has got Lewis had the background, so I don't know if you got the background as well. I think Angel did send it to everybody.
Yeah, I think she just sent on email.
Brilliant. Brilliant stuff.
I got a last question.
Yeah.
Why am I getting? I mean, the Swiss franc. Why does it attract positive swaps? I've seen this twice now.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Jeff?
Everything else I get gets negatives, but the Swiss franc attracts positive swaps.
Well, the interest rate is the general rule of thumb with swaps. What used to be. Now these days, it's anybody's guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, mate. I don't know. I don't know.
This is a tricky one, John. We have this discussion quite often where it seems to always work in the broker's favour. Jeff had one a couple of weeks ago, didn't he? With positive.
No, still going. That's Euro.
Still going. And you're still getting paid.
Yeah.
You're still getting paid positive swaps.
Yep.
Oh man, I mean, why would you ever close that trade if it was always under your level and you're getting paid positive? You don't have to do anything, do you?
Well, you like to get some profit as well.
But
the swaps aren't enormous.
No, but over time, I mean, you know, if you could hold on to that, and I know you're saying, yeah, I suppose, yeah, if it goes a long way and you've got a big chunk.
Yeah, you know, what am I after on that trade? 3,000-4,000 pips, I think, something like that. But if it gets to there, I don't know that I'll want to hang on till it goes back to zero.
Do the swaps increase the bigger your profit line? Or do they always pay the same?
Only while you're in profit, obviously. If it goes against you, the swaps aren't going to make jack shit difference. Or no, they will.
Let's say, so if you were up $10, do you get less swaps than if you were up $100? Do you get paid?
No, it depends on your stake.
Okay, so it's always the same. It's
same ratio, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I don't know, John, on that one. I don't either of us really do anymore. Seems to be a bit of an anomaly.
No, well, it used to be cut and dried, but it's not anymore. Definitely not. And I think I can kind of understand that with negative interest rates and very, very low interest rates. I kind of get that to a degree, but you know, rules are rules. Brokers don't have any.
No, they don't. Well, maybe it'll change again. Maybe it'll change again if those interest rates start popping up a little bit. Maybe it'll change again. Yep. Okay, well, let's wrap it up. Unless you got anything else, John, you wanted to talk about?
No, I'm good. You've been very kind, as always.
No, no problem, mate. Anybody else in the room? If you've got anything that you want to talk about, we're also fine to welcome you guys on. If you've got any questions about anything at all, or any comments you want to make, you're also welcome to come on mic and on camera at any point you like. So and anybody in the YouTube show, you just hop into the Zoom room and you can come and have a chat. We are all trading buddies, and you can be part of the crew if you're not already. But if there's nothing else, mate, I guess we'll wrap it up for the week.
Yeah, look, I'm happy to wrap it up. Not happy with the Kiwi Swissy scenario. Keeping my eye on that to see where this current 4-hour bar closes. And if it is a really bullish bar, I may even scale out of that one. That's all really. Everything else is going super good. Euro Aussie, I've got my eye very, very close on because it is coming back into the range. A lower high from now is good to trade short. Down to last month's monthly pivot would be ideal. And really the rest is just wait and see what happens with NFE.
Do you think we're having a bit of a purple patch, Jeff, or is it my imagination?
Things are ticking along okay, mate. I think I've probably changed what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, same. We just seem to have hit quite a nice point at this stage. I mean, you know, things can change very quickly, but it feels quite relaxed right now.
Yeah, well, I'm relaxed because I'm trading on day charts.
Yeah,
that's pretty, and monthly charts and weekly charts.
And that's the change. But we seem to be making quite consistent money without anything kind of being too difficult.
Yeah, look, there's not too many losers, and that's obviously a very good thing, and that fits with my low risk profile. So that's pretty much on target. We are getting some bigger winners because we're getting onto the ones that are moving more over time, but this takes a long time. See, that's the trade-off. But
okay,
you know,
I think things seem pretty good, mate. So all change next Monday.
No, it won't. No, I think I'm enjoying this laconic trading lifestyle at the moment.
Yeah, no, same, mate. Same. As things, life is pretty good right now, and I have to say, if trading is going well, then it does make life a bit more pleasant. And
yeah, it certainly does. Certainly does. I mean, I'm looking forward to coming back to the day charts, I've got to say, but I just can't do it anytime soon. I'm just too flat out.
Yeah. Well, it's working.
Yeah, it's working.
sleeping at night, mate? It doesn't sound like trading's going too bad for you either. So I'm hoping everybody in the room is kind of feeling pretty good right now.
It's good because KL's not a bad place to be. I can catch the morning.
Yeah.
After the Kiwi Oz and the yen and kick the day off, then I can come into the London session and I can catch the action in the States just before I go to sleep. Quite nice.
I never see any of that anymore.
No,
I'm sound asleep by the time anybody's even thinking about kickstarting the New York thing. But that's fine. You can't do what you can't do.
No, you can't, and it's just not necessary. And at some point, I think we all recognise that life is actually more than this. This is sort of this is our vehicle, isn't it? But life is a lot more enjoyable when you can put this one into the drawer for the evening and then come back to it the next day.
Just about to do that.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, let's wrap it up, mate. Thank you to all the trading buddies in the room. Thank you to you, mate, as always. Big thank you to Angel for looking after us this week and for the fantastic background. We will see you. Oh, if you like the show, of course, on YouTube, hit the like button. We will see you all next week at the same trade time and the same trade channel. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, Ash. Thanks, John. Thank you to all our trading buddies, and we will indeed see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.